Yes, people. Welcome back to Saeed TV and welcome back to another live stream. I'm with a special guest. We got a man like Curtis Shaw from Curtis Shaw TV. Yes, brother. What are you telling me? You good?
Yo, I love that intro, by the way,
Come on, man. Come on. I
Very
don't
much.
do the intros that Laurie does, yeah. But listen, we're there, man. You
Now,
know the
good to
one.
be here. For Man United and Arsenal, this is a season of hope for us, isn't it? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? This is where we cling to them transfer stories, and then it's been going downhill the past few years, but it's the
Bro,
hope
I'm telling
season.
you, it's the hope season, man. Listen, we got a lot to talk about, man. But
Mm.
how you finding the summer off and that? What's been going down, man?
Do you know what? Like, I'll be honest, when the season finished, I was a little bit like tired. I was almost glad that the season was over.
Mm,
Um, Obviously, you do miss it. When you get to the weekend, you're like, yo, I'd love to be going to the game. Or so it's a
yeah.
bit 50-50. I'm enjoying the relaxing time, but at the same
Mm,
time, you miss it as well. So I'm a bit torn.
yeah, trust me, man. I think for me, it's been the worst season ever in terms
Yeah.
of being a United fan. People talk about David Moyes' season when we finished, I think seventh, I think it is, but I still think we had a decent Champions League run. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. This one just felt for me getting battered and battered. It was just like I don't know, man. It was just the worst season I've ever experienced. And right now, at this current minute, we're not really doing anything. But I want to start with you, man, first, man. You know what I mean? Obviously, I put the title "Time to Trust the Process," but I think there's more to delve into that one. I think there's more to delve into that
Man's
before I
already
get.
trolling me with the
No,
title,
no,
you
no,
know.
no, no, no. We're not trolling. We're not trolling, man. But I
Yeah,
just want
but
to know, in terms of your opinion, are you surprised by the level of transfer activity that Arsenal are doing right now in terms of Rafinha, Jesus? You got the guy, yeah, Vieira. You might not active though.
bro, you know what? I've seen this story before, bro. I've seen it before, so I don't,
Mm,
I don't get gassed about anyone Arsenal are linked with until they're holding the shirt up because they do this
mm,
every year. Season ticket renewals, new kit, then we get linked with a bag of players. Then we don't
mm.
sign half of them, and then you've already renewed the season ticket. So for
Yeah,
me, nah, I don't buy into none of it. Like obviously, yeah, I'm like every other fan. Yeah, man,
of
Rafinha and
course.
Jesus, but until them man are through the door, yeah, it
Mm,
means very little. Remember, we were so close to getting Luis Suarez all them years ago, and then that foolish offer. He would
mm.
have won us the title that year. We were a striker away from winning the league.
A penny. What did he add a pound on or something?
Yeah,
That
we
was
had a.
madness.
You know what I mean? And you're like, so from there adding a
Mm,
pound onto an offer. Nah, man,
mm.
I always, you know what I
He's
mean,
scarred.
fall back when it comes to Arsenal. Obviously, it's nice to see us linked to some exciting players, but if we
Mm.
do, we have to sign them. Otherwise, it's just same old story, innit? Them ones.
No, it's true, man. You know what I mean? Once they're not, because with this Rafinha, I want to delve
Mm,
into this Rafinha.
yeah,
Barcelona have agreed terms with him in terms of actual himself, but obviously not with Leeds. He
yeah,
then is suited around. It's not really kind of like, I think he's that kind of footballer that wants to be kind of talked about. You know what I mean? He's not
yeah,
really giving people that kind of feeling of, I want you to come. As long as you can meet my terms and you can obviously respect Leeds as well. I'm sure he would want to respect Leeds as well. What's
yeah.
your feeling with feeling? Because I feel like for me, if Arsenal get him, that is a box office signing, man. Because he's someone that can get you edge of your feet. He's someone that you want to actually go and watch every week at the Emirates. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? Like it's a big signing if you get him though.
It's a funny one that because, like, it's interesting because you could actually affect that deal because
Yeah,
there was a picture on social media yesterday. Deco was with the Barcelona chairman and Eto.
yeah,
And they're saying that
yeah.
basically they're saying, listen, if United pay this P for De Jong, then they can possibly do the Rafinha deal. But listen, if we were to get him, I think it's a good signing.
Mm.
I got to be honest, I wanted probably Gnabry more, but
Oh, okay.
beggars can't be choosers. We're in the Europa
Yeah,
League. You
facts.
know what I'm saying? I can't be turning down Rafinha, and I think I think he will be an upgrade on Pepe because Pepe just doesn't suit this league. But that
Mm,
that's the only thing that worries me about Rafinha is I remember when we signed Pepe,
mm,
I was thinking from what I've seen, even though I wanted Zaha ahead of Pepe, I was thinking
Yeah.
this guy's going to rip this league up. He had a lot of good
Yeah.
games against you as well. Luke Shaw used to rip him up.
Bro, I remember that
But
January. Remember that January game where you beat us 2-0? He was
yeah,
unbelievable that day.
he was on fire. But
2019. Yeah.
then we'll go and play like Norwich the week after, and he don't do anything. So listen,
Mm.
if we get Rafinha, I'm happy with that, and I think he must have told the club that he's willing to sign it for us, because Arsenal don't tend to make offers unless they've already been given the nod by the player.
Yeah.
So I think we can get him, but we got to get him quick, because it only takes United to drop the money on De Jong and they
Yeah.
buy him, or he's been linked with Chelsea as well. So I
Yeah.
think we got a chance, but we got to do the deal quick.
No, you got to, man. You got to, man. Trust me, bro. I think it's dog eat dog out there, man.
Yeah,
It genuinely is, man. Big up to Mighty Slimsy with a super chat, by the way. Big
yeah,
up
man,
to you.
big
Big up
up.
to everybody who's watching. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to Curtis, man. Nearly on 50k people. So let's try and get him towards that target, man. I think this Rafinha. I'm a bit weird. I'm a bit like. It's a bit odd though that you're trying to sign him when you got Saka who plays on that right hand side, and people can say, well, Saka is better on the left, but he's been playing on that right hand side and getting goals, being more confident on that right hand side. He's allowed to cut in and get into that space on the half turn, been causing more devastating damage. Is it a case of just depth, or if available, if a player like Rafinha becomes available, you got to go and get him because he's such a talented player, man. He's unreal.
You know what it is, bro? I think with Saka, man, he's been burnt out. He's played more than we've even wanted to play him. He's played 2 years. He played the Euros in between, obviously missing that penalty. It's going to take a lot out of you as a young player. He's going to play the whole season for Arsenal again. We're in Europe, and he's also going to go to the World Cup. So because the manager, he doesn't trust Pepe. So there's games where Saka's not playing well, and you're like, take him off. But he won't take him off because he doesn't trust Pepe. So I think you know what it's like, man. Look at the options you've had out wide over the years. At times you've had like Rashford, Martial, Greenwood. You brought Sancho. You've had bag of players. So I think he's thinking, if I got Martinelli, I got Saka, I got Rafinha, I got Smith Rowe, 4 players. You got Europe. You got to rotate. You're going to get injuries. So I think, I think it makes sense. But I think Saka at times.
What is this, man?
If only that was real, man. If
only that was real.
You wouldn't have to pay that much for him. You can take the 0 off and take him for 5 million.
5 million, man like David Ornstein, who is actually an Arsenal fan, by the way. He goes, exclusive, Man United set to launch a bid of 50 million for Arsenal's Granit Xhaka to play alongside De Jong. Ten Hag's trying to seduce the player. I mean, I tell you what, he's trying to stay as far away as he can with him. He's a player that could still be leaving as well, because you're trying to get that midfielder in. Like, it's a weird one. I don't know what system you're going to play next season, because you bought this Fabio Vieira in, who's an 8, but you've got Odegaard who can play in as an 8/10. You've got Partey. Like this Vieira done as well, by the way. Are you excited by him? Are you one of them as well, by the way, that seems to know a lot about him? Because every Arsenal fan thinks, what I mean, we know that he's the next Vieira, he's the next one, he's the next Ozil, Bernardo Silva, Rehab.
No, listen, for me, I think, like I said, it's hope season. That's all he is to me. I'm not excited. I've seen him play twice. I'll be honest with you. One game only because I had a bet on Porto, and another game was Champions League where he came on. So for me, I'm a YouTube scout when it comes to this guy. So I ain't gonna say nothing about how good he is.
Yeah, man. Like, you know what it is though? YouTube scouting for me has been going on since I was a kid, man. I remember we linked with Anderson, and nobody heard of him from Porto. Then I was in Dubai, and I went on that time. There was no Twitter, there was no nothing. So BBC Sport would say, you would read the gossip column, Man United are interested in Anderson. So I go check him, and man was scoring rockets for Porto, yo. And I was like, brother, get this man in, yo. And then he had one good season, I think, and then it went downhill from there. But again, it's difficult because at the end of the day, we bought a lot of players from Porto League, and they're not great. Are you worried that is the Portuguese league tax, or have you seen enough of him to think, what, he's got a bit of flair, he's a bit of a Bernardo regen, he can, like I said to you, he's got the assist, that he's had a good season last season for a 22-year-old that wasn't really a mainstay in the team, really, when you look at him.
He looks a techie baller. I think what Arteta's thinking about is playing Partey by himself in the pivot with 2 number 8s, but for me, that's very risky because Partey can't get through a season. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's struggling to play 30 games. He gets injured every season.
yeah,
And you know, everything that Arteta does, you see it happen at Manchester City, obviously on a way higher level. They
mm,
have Rodri in the pivot, sometimes Bernardo and De Bruyne in front, two
mm,
creators. But to
mm.
play that system, you know, I mean, you got to dominate possession. And
Trust me.
I don't like they're saying, oh, Odegaard and Fabio Vieira in front of Partey. That for me defensively gets ram ragged because them two are
Facts.
lightweight. Do you know what I'm
Facts.
saying? So I don't know with Arteta, and this is what worried me. When we signed him, I was like, so is that Tielemans deal not going to happen then? And then
Mm.
now the Athletic come out last night and said, oh, Fabio Vieira might make the Tielemans deal collapse because they might play him
Oh,
left centre mid. And I'm like, I knew it was too
nah.
good to be true. This is why I don't
Yeah.
celebrate. This is why I
That's
don't
what I mean.
celebrate.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course.
You
It's
know what I mean?
difficult because Man City play it with Rodri, but Rodri and Partey are not the same players.
No,
That's just
no,
my opinion.
it's
Rodri
true.
is head and shoulders above. I've seen Partey, I'm not going to lie to you, get bossed about in the midfield a few certain games. When he's then played alongside Xhaka, he's looked a bit more solid. They've looked a bit
Mm,
more of a unit. You see what I'm
yeah,
trying to say? Like, I feel like
100.
for me, when you look at Party as a lone six, I'm
No,
not gonna lie to you, I don't see it. I
I
genuinely
don't.
don't see it. Like, and that's the worry. In this Premier League, you could get outnumbered by Brentford in there. They will
Yeah,
press you, they will hurry you. And I'm not trying to say on a cold night in Stoke, but them kind of moments are gonna be there. Nottingham Forest where they
wholesale.
harass you. So
Yeah.
that is a very big risk that Arteta's taken.
Bro, somehow, I don't know how, but Granit, yo, big up Turkish.
Big up
Every,
Turkish
every,
man.
every season, Granit Xhaka seems to survive somehow. It's the biggest mystery in football to me, how this
Yeah,
guy's still at the football club. And somehow he'll probably end up staying there next season as well, you know.
yeah,
And like you said, man, Rodri is unbelievable on the ball. Partey
yeah.
is not unbelievable on the ball. So to
Mm.
play him as a lone six is, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking there. For me, Tielemans, they're talking 25, 30 million. That's a
Yeah,
no-brainer. We need another
yeah.
midfielder who can create, who can score a goal.
Mm.
You just don't know with Arsenal, man. This is what I'm saying. They give you with one hand, they take with the other. Yeah, you've got a new
Yeah,
signing, but you're going to have
exactly.
Xhaka for another year. So
Yeah, man.
it's one
Just
of them.
Yeah, 100%. I hear you, man. We got man like Zayn Miassi. I don't know
Big
if
up
you heard
Zayn.
about Zayn Miassi.
Yeah,
You know,
Zayn's been in my chat for time. I ain't seen him for a
Zayn
little
is,
bit. He's
yeah, I
prolific.
know, man. It's just because I think he was in the budget, innit? He was sorting out the budget for Arsenal. You know what I'm saying? Like he goes, Saeed, you have still not signed anyone. Jesus Martinelli Saka going to destroy your defense. Even Varane can't help you. Who's no better than Ben White? Well, I'm sure even Curtis Shaw will tell you that. But Varane is not.
I mean, listen.
Yeah, well, listen, you know,
Zayn, man,
it's
just
crazy,
cool,
man.
man.
Zay, just cool off, man.
You
Cool
know
off,
what I
brother.
mean?
You know what I'm saying?
This
But
hot weather, man. Go get some water and chill, man.
I'm telling you, bro, this hot weather is killing people. But you know what it is, though? With the Tielemans deal, even I'm not sure, even with this Tielemans deal,
Mm,
that he's a good midfielder, right? I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie to you, but I think mobility wise, he's not great.
he
I don't
is.
think he's one of them that will press. I
Yeah,
think sometimes I've seen him get bossed around in that midfield lately. I think technically he's unbelievable. He's sound as anything. One of the most technical midfielders that there are in the Premier League. But in terms of the actual mobility wise, are you not worried that you're not in for a better midfielder than Tielemans? Not saying I'm not think Tielemans is great, but
mm.
is Tielemans the answer for your midfield right now, or beggars can't be choosers again mentality? I
bro,
don't know.
bro, and that's what it is. Like
Yeah,
I've said all along, if I had a list of midfielders, Tillemans would not be at the top because
there you go. Yeah,
you know what I mean. He does get caught on the ball sometimes. He's not the most mobile. He
mm,
goes looking for a goal, and again, that will maybe leave Partey isolated at times, but.
yeah,
I would have liked Basuma. I can't lie. I would have taken Basuma. I suppose the problem with Basuma was him and Partey. There's no ball player, and he wants somebody
yeah,
that can turn the ball over. So I think that's why they didn't go for him. But again, like I think last year they wanted Ruben Neves. They
yeah.
couldn't get him. They decided to keep
Hot one.
Xhaka,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then now they probably can't get him. So we're in a weak position, bro. You know what I mean?
Mm.
We're only getting, if we get Rafinha, we're getting him because Barcelona can't afford him. It's not because he's
Yeah.
desperate to come to Arsenal. You know,
Mm.
and that's been the case a lot of the time with us. When you've been out of the Champions League for so long, you're
Mm.
buying players because of circumstances, you know, maybe they
Yeah.
can't afford him. So I think Tielemans probably one of the better midfielders that we can attract right now. And he's got a
Mm.
year left. You can get him cheaper. So
Mm.
that's probably why Arsenal are going for it. Yeah, and he's better than Xhaka, let's be real.
Yeah, 100%. I think he offers more, especially when you want to get the ball like Arteta does from deep and get the ball. I think Tielemans is unbelievable. I've seen him at Old Trafford come in and get the ball from almost a defense centre back position and get in there. So for me, it's a no brainer. Big up to Nathan Minas, man. I
Big up,
appreciate the
Nathan.
super chat, bro. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Big up
man.
Nathan, man. Always supporting them, man. All well and good signing the likes of Jesus and Rafinha, but what's the point in giving more money to a manager that's out of his depth? Imagine we gave the money to Conte and Tuchel, the money Arteta's been given, we'd be challenging. You know, he's got a good point there. You have spent now, if you get these two signings in, I think Arteta will have spent 450 million in about, 3 years, less than 3 years at the football club. That's a lot of money for then Arsenal to not have the expectation of getting top four, but then not to also, I think Arteta sometimes doesn't get the criticism he deserves in terms of maybe the media and etc. etc. And people always say it's a youth project. Give the youth project a bit of time, but at the end of the day, you're spending money, and these money that players that are meant to be coming in now are experienced Premier League players now. You're not dealing with nobodies now. You're not dealing with youngsters.
Yeah.
You're dealing with serious ballers now. So when does the expectation come in then? That Nathan Minna says right now.
Bro, that expectation's been with me for probably 18
Yeah,
months, 2
facts.
seasons. Yeah, this why I mean, listen, I have a lot of, well, how shall I word it? I have a lot of debate slash arguments with the Arsenal fan base because that question you're putting across, I was at that stage, a year, 2 years ago.
Mm,
I think when I always say Arsenal are the
mm.
Manchester City of PR. We're
Yeah,
unbelievable when it comes to PR. We can
yeah,
dress up anything and make it
yeah.
look, oh yeah, I believe that, and because you love your club, a
Mm,
lot of people just lap it up. But I don't do that. You know what I mean? I
mm,
don't do that. For me, if you're a top Premier League club, which we still consider ourselves, you've
mm.
had 2.5 years in charge. You've spent 300 million.
Facts.
We're probably gonna spend another 100 million in this window, on
Facts.
top of Vieira, and yet we're saying, oh, he needs time. He needs another window. It's a youth project. Listen. I believe he got the job because the Kroenkes wanted to cut the wage bill. Our
Mm,
wage bill was 150 million. It's now 80 million. So they said, let's get a cheaper manager. Let's get young
mm,
players in. Let's create
mm,
assets because we've blown all the assets over the last few years. Sanchez, Ozil, anyone who was worth anything, they walked
mm,
out of this club for nothing. So they want Saka, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Gabriel, Tierney, Ramsdale. We're going to have 6, 7, 8 players under 25 that if we ever have to sell one of them, we'll make a lot of money.
mm,
Arteta's going to do that. You
mm.
can't tell Antonio Conte to do that. You can't tell Klopp. They're not doing that. They want to
They do
win.
what they want to do.
They
Yeah.
want to win now. Yeah.
Yeah.
My thing is, I want to win now. Give me
Yeah.
money. I want established top ballers.
Mm.
Arteta can't make them demands, and that's why
No.
they brought him in and gave him a new contract before the season had finished. We didn't even know where
Same
we
with
were going to
Ollie.
finish. Yeah,
Same
yeah,
with Ollie.
exactly. I remember you saying it on the Big Six, and I'm like, come on. It shows the direction of this football club. It's a money-making machine. The Kroenkes, that they're winning the Super Bowl in America. They're giving out huge contracts to players. Yeah,
Mm,
we're spending money, but are we spending it right? Do we have the right manager to spend it? Do we have the right
mm,
technical director? Do we have the right people running the club? You can spend as much money as you want. If the right people aren't spending it, you're just
mm.
you're just wasting it. So,
No, 100%. I get you.
for
No,
me,
it's true.
Arteta's lucky to be the manager right now. He's lucky to be the manager.
Facts.
Very
Facts.
lucky to be the manager right now. I don't think he'd
Mm.
be the manager at any of the other
Ah,
big
never.
6 clubs. They would have all been it by now.
No, because he's a novice. Let's be real. He's a novice, man, and that's the true reality. When you look at if Tottenham could go and get Conte, I don't
Oh,
see why Arsenal can't. And people will tell you, well, they've got Patrici. Is it the guy who's the
yeah,
sporting director? I
yeah.
get that, but also Edu, is he not fit for his purpose? Then do you need that Patrici then from from that, and that's working within your means. And I think Arsenal now are working within their means, but they're not also having that expectation that they could do better. And that's what's, I think, irritating a lot of Arsenal fans who generally want the club to be where it's been for so many years. Like, and you got to realize as well, Curtis, yeah, before I read this super chat, Arsenal were consistently, going for the league title and being in and around there for so many years. And that drop off for me, it's difficult to take on as Arsenal fan who used to be bigger than Liverpool, bigger than Chelsea, bigger than Man City. It's not as if you weren't bigger than them and you're almost now competing now. You were bigger than them. So the expectation shouldn't really change, should it? Just because they've got a bit of money when now you're spending money.
Yeah. And
it's crazy, isn't it, when you think of it like that?
And the thing is that the worst one for me is the Tottenham thing, because we built our stadium 16 years ago. So we were miles ahead of the curve. We were one of the first clubs that built the stadium. You had the biggest stadium already. We built the second biggest. So we should have been at the top table. Like, yo, it's just us two. Like, all right, Chelsea arrived. But then how come the team that a lot of our fan base take the mick out of, and I get it, it's the rivalry and this, that, the other. But how come all of a sudden they got a better training ground, better stadium, better manager, better technical director? They got a couple of world-class players. I don't believe Arsenal have one world-class player. Not one. Like, I'm talking world-class.
World-class, yeah.
Not one.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, how have the fans allowed that to occur? I know we're not in complete control over what happens, but if we're all on the same page, we can apply pressure, and clubs feel pressure when the fan base are united, but ours are not. They would rather argue with each other. Arteta in, Arteta out. Then it was Ozil. Then it was Emery. It was Wenger. And then while we're debating each other, they're in the background, the Cronkays going, look at these man arguing while we're getting, money's falling out of our pockets.
Dividends, of course, man, absolutely. It's mad, crazy. Man. It's absolutely mad. Big up to Raymond, GSM. He goes, big up Curtis. But can we talk about you tearing your shirt up on the stream? Yeah, that was hilarious. That's for me, that's my kind of Twanzavy moment. That's for you, that moment, bro.
Do you know what? Do you know what is? Yeah, honestly, you know, before you make content.
Yeah.
And you just watch football matches. Sometimes I look back on my own streams and I think, yo, I don't even recognize that brother right there.
Bro,
I look like a madman. But that's what they do to you, man. I was so disgusted that we couldn't beat Newcastle, man. Just get it off.
It was the cleanness of the way he did it. The kind of like, it just was so smooth, yo. Like the way you ripped it was like Incredible Hulk. I was like, yo, man, like Incredible Curtis, But that's what it does to you. But that's real time now. A lot of people say, oh, yeah, it's fake reactions, this and that. Nah, man, this is real emotion. When I did that moment in lockdown, you got to remember, my man can't go out of my house nothing. And I see Twanzavy, trying to, I don't know what he was trying to do. He was trying to sidestep and then didn't really want to put in a challenge. I was like, Twanzavy! Brother, honestly,
I love that,
me, man. But that's what I'm saying, though, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? Big up to Turkish in the chat, man.
Yeah, big him up, man. Big. I'll be watching Big Six later, man.
Come on, yeah. 10 o'clock, people.
10 o'clock. You know the thing, bro. We're in the same boat, because the reality is, growing up, we all know, like school, college, whatever, it was Arsenal United. No, not many other people could speak, in school. Like, it was Arsenal United. Thierry, Van Nistelrooy, Keane, Vieira. That was the thing. So for me, I'm like, yo, what's gone off here? I don't know what's happened. Like, I feel like 10, 15 years, I just blinked all of a sudden. Man's finished
18 years since he won the league. You know what I mean?
How can you go invincible? Yeah. And I hate talking about this. As you can see, look, I'm living on history in the background.
Bro, living on history,
invincible, man. And then you don't get one more after that. You don't even touch one more since. It's crazy, bro.
You know what, man? And now you got Nketiah with the number 14 shirt. It's all mad in the dunya. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't easy, as you would say, man. As you say.
Man. You know what? It ain't easy. That's why I made that comment, people. Life ain't easy, man. Sometimes it ain't easy, and that's what it is, man. You know what? I want to touch on that later on, but big up to that one. We'll save that, man. We'll never forget Mickey Mouse Saeed last year. Yo, man. And that's what I'm trying to say. When do you think that's not me? I've actually got a deep voice, but it just turns into this squeaky voice when I'm pissed off. I can't control myself, people. I generally can't control myself. But you know what, man? After the whole situation, when you actually deep it, that striker option there for me is a very, very critical one because you can go get all the midfielders you want and all the wingers you want, but at the end of the day,
Mm,
you need to have that striker in there to finish, man. You had it in
have
Aubameyang. For
to.
me, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I think Arteta wanted full control. I think he's
Yeah.
almost a bit, I'm not saying he's toxic here, but he's almost like a control freak. He's a control freak. I think Arteta, and he
Yeah.
was like, "Nah, my man can't be having Aubameyang pulling over. Yes, he scores goals, but." Man's a boss here, Man's a boss. Like the fans might adore him, but man's a boss in it. So they
Mm,
parted ways. Jesus coming in. Are you confident he could be the one? Because a lot of people say Jesus is a good striker or whatnot, but I want to put that other angle is can he give you 25 goals a season? Because he's not really done that. Has he done that for Man City? Scored
no,
25 to 30 goals?
never
This is what
scored
I'm trying to
20.
say. And you're a striker, Curtis. Like,
Mm.
be honest. Is he that person that you think, you know what, I believe in him? Or is he someone that can help with the system?
Yeah, I think it's more help. I don't see Jesus getting 20 goals. I think, but listen, you got to understand, we just finished fifth, which for me was failure. But
Yeah,
Aubameyang got binned early. Lacazette got 4 goals, which is a shambles, and then
yeah,
Ketia got 5 goals. So it
yeah,
feels to me like we haven't had a striker all season.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So even if we can get 15 goals out of
yeah,
Jesus, which I think he can score 15
yeah,
if we create chances and he plays through the middle,
mm,
I think he's trying to like, can I get 10 or 15 out of Saka, which he got last year, 10 or 15 out of Martinelli, get
yeah,
15 out of Jesus, maybe Rafinha gets you 10, 15. I think
yeah,
he's trying to do it collectively rather than when Aubameyang
mm,
was scoring 20, 25, the
mm.
next one might be Lacazette, who's getting 8 or
Well,
something. You know what I mean?
oh,
So I think he
Lacazette,
wants,
mate. He doesn't
yeah.
get the criticism he deserves, mate. 50
Oh,
million. 50 million people. That's what you got to realize.
bro.
I still people talk about Martial and whatnot, but I think these kind of players get under the radar. And Lacazette, mate, how many goals has he scored in his career for Arsenal?
He's never hit 15 in a season in the
That is
league.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Well, because he came in a house on fire when he actually deep it. Like, remember it was like
Mm.
Leicester game, was it? Leicester start of the season.
First
First
game,
game in
yeah.
it. I remember
Yeah.
in it. That was mad.
And
Honestly,
I,
crazy, man.
and I was
Absolutely.
gassed when we signed him. 'Cause I remember seeing him in France. I was like, yo, this guy's a goal machine, bruv. But
Yeah.
I remember, do you know what was interesting, right? When Mourinho was your manager,
Yeah.
Mourinho wrote an article about him and he said like that he'd scouted him because I think Mourinho at one stage he was living in France or he's staying in France for a little bit between jobs.
Yeah.
And he said like he'd scouted this Lacazette a lot of the time, and he said he
Yeah.
hasn't got the speed or the power for the Premier League. And I
Yeah.
think that's what it was. He looked quick in France. He came to England. He couldn't run. He wasn't in the area enough. He didn't shoot enough.
Yeah.
It was a shame because he had a great attitude, but really, who cares? You paid 50 million. I want goals. And he was
Mm.
probably was worse than Giroud, and we were frustrated with him. So yeah,
Yeah.
it,
It's
it didn't
crazy,
work.
man.
Didn't
No,
work, man.
absolutely, man. Absolutely. We've got Big Six bands. Make sure you subscribe to him. Monts is on that channel doing big stuff, man. Big
Yeah,
up to
man.
you guys. You man are spitting facts. Arsenal, AFC hierarchy looking like they're lacking ambition for real. But to see both clubs in the mud is beautiful.
Ugh,
Obviously, a Liverpool fan would be
of
speaking
course.
about that. You know what I mean? Like them man are living lavishly with Nunes and all that, man. But
Mm,
I got some news from Fabrizio. I don't know if
um,
you want to see this. Leeds have
ah,
basically made it pretty clear that with clubs interested, he can leave, but they want at least 65 million. Arsenal rejected first offer. Spurs after new direct talks. Oh,
mm,
Chelsea after contact through Bowley. Again, I don't know. I don't really understand this Bowley kind of thing. Discussing an owner discussing with a player. I'm not sure. And Barca via
true.
Deco got the message. So 65 million for you. Is he? How much
Too
have you
much.
bid in first? Was it 50 million?
I heard what I read today was it was like 40 something and then add-ons.
Wow.
So
Oh, okay, okay,
yeah,
okay.
I don't
I
think
think
he's
that's a
worth
fair offer, though.
65.
Do you
I
think
don't think
so?
I don't think he's worth 65.
You know what? In this current market, I don't know, man. Let me know in the comments, people, man. 65 million for Rafinha. Is it worth it? What do you think, man? What do you think? I don't know. It's
Yeah,
crazy, man.
Cage is in the chat
Yeah,
saying pay
Kate,
up
yo, man, like
drastically.
Kate,
Just let him
come
go,
on,
man.
let him go, man. You know what I'm saying? You got Daniel James, man. You know what I'm
Come on,
saying?
man. You got Bamford and them, man.
Bamford of them, man. You know what, man? It's crazy, man. Because you know what it is, yeah, 56. Yeah, I think you know what it is with negotiations. I think teams always go low first, and then
Of
they kind of
course.
maybe go higher after.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nathan Miller saying, yeah, 50 million max. Yeah, it's a tricky one, man. It's a tricky
A
one. I
tricky
think
one.
ultimately it just depends on what the club want in it. If the club
Mm.
deem it as a priority, they'll do it. But the problem is if it goes Tottenham, that's another situation where you don't want another player going to a rival, and that's the
Where's
situation.
he gonna play? Where's he gonna play at Spurs? I don't see it. They got Kulusevski, Son out wide.
Kulusevski, yeah. I don't know, Is it for depth again? That feeling of maybe getting depth in there? I don't know. I generally don't see it with Kulusevski in there, unless he plays in the number 10 role and then
Mm.
Ferfinha plays out wide. That could work out. But again, in the system, they play a back three. So it'll be a
Yeah.
3-4-3. So again, I don't know, man. I don't really know. But we'll see. We'll
Mm.
see, man. Big up to everybody in the chat, man.
Yeah,
Over
man.
800 is here, man. Make sure you subscribe to
Yeah,
Curtis Shaw
man.
TV.
Like it.
Make sure you like the video as well, man. Big up to everybody supporting the channel lately, man. I see you as well, man.
Come on, man.
Let's talk a bit about United, man.
Yeah,
Obviously,
man. Give me a breather, man. I actually
yeah,
wanted to
man,
talk about your team, so I can have, you know what I mean? I don't even want to talk
bro.
about Arsenal.
Oh, listen, man. I'm stressed. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It's getting peak right now. Basically, let me just give you
Go
a
on.
short scenario, a
Go
short
on.
kind of debrief on Man United. So Jong costs 85 million euros. Man United are still negotiating when
Yeah.
Barcelona have set their price. Man United have been negotiating for Anthony, but now Anthony's price has gone up now to I think 50 to 70 million. Then you've got
Wow.
Lisandro Martinez, who you guys were linked with as well,
Yeah.
has now gone up to 50 million now. So Ajax right now, I say, you know what? Sod you lot, man. We're just gonna put the price up. And
Of course.
we can't be they are a selling club, Ajax, whether we like it or
Yeah.
not, yeah. But they've lost Gravenberg. I think they lost another player that they sold to Bayern Munich as well.
Mm.
They've lost the people in the past as well. They've lost who have they lost recently as well? Haller, Sebastian Haller as well.
He's
So
on
end of
his
the
way
day,
out.
yeah, they don't want to become a kind of a selling club. And Man United should just think, yeah, just because Ten Hag was former Ajax manager, just don't think that they're going to be easy on you, brother. You
Mm.
just took in our manager, and now you want to took our players. Like
Mm.
it don't work like that. And Man United should at least be proactive and go in and make sure this deal is happening. But do you like this idea though that teams that Man United are just kind of going for the Ajax play? Is it lazy for you? What's your kind of opinion on it as well?
Yeah, I mean, I understand some of the players. I think De Jong's a very good player. I liked him. I wanted him at Arsenal actually.
Yeah,
But obviously he went to Barca. Yeah, I suppose if you're a United fan, you don't just want him to buy players from Ajax because
yeah,
you're trying to you're trying to go to a higher level than that. Let's be honest, you're trying to catch City and Liverpool. But
yeah,
the problem you've got now, and this is what we've found over the last few years, the more you struggle, the more difficult it is to negotiate because the selling club has that little bit more arrogance. If you was
yeah,
turning up with Champions League football and you're riding high, the player's desperate for the move. Eventually, the deal's going to happen. But right now, Ajax are saying Champions League football. They're probably vexed because you've just took their manager. So
yeah.
they're going to say, you know what, you man are in Europa League. Yeah, that player
Pay
Martinez
up.
worth 30
Yeah,
million, but we want 50. You want Anthony, we want 70. So this you're almost gonna, and this is what we've had to do. We've had to use money to compensate for the lack of Champions League football. And
yeah,
that's where it gets dangerous because you start overpaying for players.
yeah.
If they don't work
Facts.
out, you can't sell them. That's what we've done with Pepe. Paid 70. Now we're talking about 20 million to get rid of him. So
Yeah,
but De Jong is a player that I like though. I think if you get him, I think he's a top player.
top ball.
Anthony's mad skillful. I don't know too much about him,
Mm.
but definitely De Jong. I think you're in for him so much. I feel like you've got to get that deal done now. If you don't sign him, I would
Yeah,
imagine your fan base going to be a bit like, hang on, you've been talking
bro,
about this guy for
meltdown.
weeks. Yeah.
Meltdown because you know what you got to realize we were in for Sancho and it didn't happen the
Mm,
first year, and then we
yeah.
got in the next year because Dortmund were like, right, we need to get the money now because I think
Mm,
his contract had 2 years left on it, so they were like, yo, we need the money. My thing is with this whole deal, apparently, La Liga are blocking the move because Barcelona's financial trouble. When I spoke to the Barcelona guy,
Yeah,
he said to me that their money situation should ease up by the end of June. So we're coming up to the end of June now. Then they're basic the money that they've got in the bank or whatever, it can balance itself out, and then they'll find out the real kind of financial trouble they're in. Even though they've got
yeah,
this 700 million, they still need to find out what money they can spend. So we're getting held up by Barcelona, but at the same time, Man United are doing initial talks. You know what I mean? Negotiation FC. Just pay the damn money. Like, I get you don't want to pay over the odds for a certain player. But you know when you just know certain players at that price, you just go and get them. It's like Partey. 50 million, you go and get that done at that time when you were man linked with Partey. You go and
yeah,
get it done. Certain man, you just go and get it done. And
yeah,
De Jong is that person. And I think right now with Ten Hag, I feel he's a bit frustrated. I can sense he's frustrated. But
yeah,
also from the director's point of view, I'm just looking at him thinking, brothers, man, like, can you, man, not even scout other players other than Ten Hag players? Like, you know what I mean? It would be boring. Imagine Arteta was like, yo, I'm going to go get all the man from Man City. You know what I'm saying? The one I used to work with. It ain't going to work like that, is it? You've got to
You got
look
to
outside the
find
book.
others.
Exactly. But that comes down to scouting network, and it comes down
Yeah,
to people who are in that kind of position to say, you know what, we're going to scout certain people. And that's the difficulty, especially with this transfer window when you've got Jesus linked with Chelsea and you guys
yeah,
and Tottenham possibly. Then you've got the Rafinha linked with Arsenal, Chelsea and Tottenham. It's
yeah.
dog eat dog out there, isn't it? It's
Of
crazy. I've
course.
never seen this transfer window like this, Have you?
Yeah, I think it shows like as well in certain positions. I think there's a lack of quality now. And then, so
Yeah.
when there's a couple of decent players in that position, everyone's trying to sign them. I kind of wonder with Man United, and this is something I wanted to ask you. Like,
Yeah.
you've just let a lot of players go for free, aren't you? Like Matic,
Yeah.
Lingard, Pogba. Are they gonna say to Ten Hag, listen, like this ain't the United of old where you're just blowing 70, 80 million on players? Like Man United don't recoup that much money from player sales, really.
Nope.
When you look at how much you spend. So is
Mm.
that part of the reason why they've signed him? Because he worked with less money at Ajax. Is that part of the
You
reason
know
maybe they
what?
went
I
for him?
hope it's not. I hope it's not. I
Yeah.
think if that got to the fan base, I genuinely think there would be riots outside. If
Yeah.
Ten Hag goes, we have to work within our means, and we have to not be able to spend a lot, and we have to look at maybe spending less over the next few years. Honestly, it would cause riots. Right
Yeah.
now, the good thing about Ten Hag, he's only spoke once, to the media, and
Mm,
that's it. We've not heard really much from Ten Hag.
yeah.
Normally, you hear things from certain things and whatnot. We've not heard anything. There's not been any kind of murmurs of he wants this player, I want this player. There's a lot of money to spend. Obviously, we had them guys who came up. We had the interview, or well, I wouldn't
Mm,
call it interview. The guy,
recorded the.
the owner, the CEO of
Yeah.
Man
I
United,
saw that.
talking to the pub and saying there's money to spend. But that's almost kind of letting the fans know, well, we have money, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, but you man just chilling it, you feel me? Like you
Yeah.
man
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
relax. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But big up to Wilkinson Simplified. He goes, I am out and out Man United fan. Big up Saeed. Started watching Curtis 2 months ago. I wait every day for your videos, Curtis. Big up to Curtis,
Yeah.
man. He's
Big
giving
up,
you
man.
free.
Appreciate it.
You know what I'm
Yeah, man.
saying,
Big
man?
him up, man.
Nah,
Big
man.
him
Real
up.
talk, man. Because
Appreciate it.
when you look at the striking options as well, like if you the man don't get Jesus,
Oh,
are you gonna seriously rely on Nketiah? Like
nah,
that's
nah,
what I'm
nah,
saying. The
nah.
striker
That
market
can't
is
happen.
dead.
Bruv. Like even Nunes, who's gone to Liverpool, right? That's a big signing. But let's be real. We're talking about one big season in Portugal and 85 million euros. That's how
Yeah,
crazy the striker market is right now. So I, at the back end of last season when I thought we might get top four, I was looking at Jesus like, I don't know, and then we finish Europa League and I'm like, yo, please get him in because
yeah,
what's the alternative? Like, if we don't get him in, there's such a lack of good strikers. And Eddie up front is just, I mean, listen, I'm sure we'll speak about it, but
yeah, 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 yeah.
that just it's not gonna happen. If he's your number one, you might as well forget the season, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up to my girl Mimi. He goes, all I see is King Energy. Big up to you. Need to come show love. Saeed, you also need to you lot paying us 4 million for Backman. We're robbing you nicely. Yeah.
Are you
You know
signing
what?
Backman from Watford?
Watford, yeah, man. We're about
Backup
to sign him,
goalkeeper
man.
though, isn't it? Obviously.
Yeah. I've not really heard much of him, but you know what I
Mm.
mean. I'm gonna trust Mimi's judgment. You know what I mean. So,
So
but
you're
anyway, we
selling
got new
Henderson going
Henderson. Yeah, he's going to Nottingham Forest, is it?
Forest.
I
Mm.
think so. Yeah, man. So it's still one of them situations, man. But I just look at him, man. When you look at after strikers now, it's a dying breed, man. I'm just glad we see football when we were young, man. Great, and we
Oh,
enjoyed it, man. Because
oh,
the level of talent there was back in the day was crazy. Now you're looking at players that like that. This Vieira right now, like this is no kind of like thingy, but I feel like there's about 1,000 Vieiras, and it's almost easier to kind of get them players in, but to actually get number nines and quality CDMs in this world or playmakers and whatnot, it's very very rare, if you know what I
different,
mean.
isn't it?
And
Yeah,
that's the reality, and that's why clubs now are struggling. And that's why you see a stress and a kind of panic stations at every club.
yeah.
It's honestly it's mad, man. It's absolutely crazy, man.
And that's the thing, man. This striker market, and this is why I think I'm
Yeah,
surprised with certain clubs. They have, like I've said for a while, Martinelli. I'm surprised they haven't played him central because it's so difficult to get a striker. Sometimes you've got to create a striker. Do you know what? A couple of years ago, I used to think with you guys that Rashford's going to be a number 9. But
yeah.
here, that definitely hasn't happened. So
Nah,
you know what I
I
mean.
remember the
But
game against Newcastle when he had. That's when the I had that viral video when he played up front. I was like, nah, man, he ain't ever gonna be a striker. He didn't even know how to hold up the ball. And this is again, no agenda, but he didn't know how to hold up the ball. He was trying to run it behind, and then he was trying to do this. And yeah, I mean, nah, man, we're staying well clear of that, man. You know what I'm saying? But in
yeah,
terms of Man United, in terms of the job
yeah.
Ten Hag's got to do, like,
Mm.
be realistic. What are you hoping for next season for Man United? What do you think they'll do? Because I don't see the change happening, because I feel like there's a lot of damage being done last season, and I think one season is too soon for people to expect crazy changes. I genuinely do. What about you?
Yeah. Do you know what? I think it's going to be a difficult year for United. I do. I think it'll be tough.
Yeah,
I think you're going to have to be patient. I know it's something that people say to me with Arteta, but this is Ten Hag's first year.
yeah,
Um, Listen, if the transfer window goes well, then you never know. I think
yeah,
probably the best you can hope for is top 4 and maybe win a trophy. Again, like us, probably try and win the Europa League is the
yeah,
backup plan to get into the Champions League. It just you've got a lot of work to do. I look at United team. I've said for a long time, you've got
yeah.
great individuals, but collectively, it's just not hasn't
Poor,
clicked.
poor.
Wan-Bissaka is not good enough. Maguire, I just don't think he suits your system. That
Mm.
McFred midfield's got to stop.
Yeah. Oh, tell
Ronaldo's
me
in
about
his
that.
Ronaldo's
Yeah.
in his last year. You're gonna have to you've got to figure out a way of getting away from him after next season, obviously. And then
Mm,
with your wide players, does Rashford get another chance? Is Greenwood
mm.
back? Martial? Sancho needs to have a good season. I think Sancho might have a better season this year. I
Yeah,
think.
one more season that he's in there, it's gonna
Mm,
give him the world of good. But again,
yeah.
it's it's gonna be competitive next season, Curtis. Man, this top four race isn't given, man. And it's even like I don't really look at like fourth and third are quite similar, because I feel like second and first are just already taken, isn't it? Like there's
Oh
actually no
yeah.
point if you're looking at you.
I don't even look at them no more.
Yeah,
I don't
man.
even
Them
look at
man,
them too.
yeah, man, them man, that positions are gone. But in
Yeah.
terms of this top four race next season, like, how are you looking at it? Because you were that
Yeah.
close to it last year, then you kind of almost bottled it, whether we could dress it up or
Mm,
not. Last couple of games, you let it go. Where
yeah.
do you see, like, with Arsenal? You got Arsenal, Man United. I think Chelsea are in this top four race.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tottenham. I think Wolves and West Ham always cause a bit of problems, but they never get
Mm,
there. And then you've got Leicester, who might cause a bit of problems, and they
yeah.
might fall out. But how do you see it going next season, man? Is it dependent on transfers? What are you thinking, bro?
Yeah, I mean, in this, as we're speaking now with the squad we've got, we're not getting top 4. You know what I mean? You're not getting top 4 with Eddie as your striker, but if we
Yeah,
go and get maybe 4 good, if we was to get like Rafinha, Jesus, Tielemans, maybe one other, Saliba's come back,
yeah,
obviously this Fabio Vieira, we don't know too much about it. We got a chance, but you just don't know. I mean, we weren't in Europe last year, and Arteta was already complaining about fixtures. So now
Crazy.
you got Thursday, Sunday, you're flying all over the place. So I got to be honest. I think at this moment, Chelsea are the top 4 team that could have a problem next season.
I
If
did
I,
say it.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah, I think Lukaku's gone. I'm not totally convinced with that manager in the Premier League. I think he's, Champions League cup competitions in the Premier hasn't really pulled up trees. They've lost, Rudiger. I think Christensen's left, Alonso. They've lost a few. So I think Chelsea, the one you can get. Tottenham, obviously, as well. They're going to have Champions League to contend with. So
Yeah.
it's a harder
That's true.
season
That's
for
true.
them.
They got to deal with that and they got to adapt to that as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, now you know what? It's going to be interesting, man. I think for me, with the Arteta thing, it's the excuses
Mm.
have to stop now.
Oh,
If they were before, it now has to stop even more, man. Because
yeah.
for me, you can't really say. That's why I said when people say trust the process and trust the youth, like it can't be anymore when you've been allowed to spend this amount of money in these couple of years. It's like,
Yeah.
nah, man, there's no more kind of, when you kind of like, when there's a guest coming to your house and that, and you give them a week, 2 weeks, you don't have no responsibility. But at the same point, you'd be like, yo, brother, you got to wash your dishes, bro. Like, when you
Yeah,
finish your dishes,
yeah.
like that guest thing now, it's got a slide now.
It's
You've
done
been
now.
here for a
It's done.
while. Go wash your dishes, man. Clean after yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll
I'm
let you
telling
slide
you.
for the first week or so, but you know what I mean? After that, just chill out, brother. So it's
I'm
it's
telling
one
you.
of them ones, man. It's absolutely one of them ones. But big up to the great one. He becomes a new member on the channel. Big up to everybody who becomes a member, man. Honestly,
Yeah, man.
it's appreciative. If you want to become a member, guys, press the join button, man. Help support the community, man. And make sure everybody's liking the video as we kind of like segue into the last 5 or 10 minutes or so. But we have to talk about this Nketiah thing, man, Curtis, because you know what it is for me, yeah? I feel like for me, a lot of people are not looking into it as much as it needs to be, but at the same time, I'm not really hating on Nketiah. Like, I'm not.
Yeah,
It's
I
more
agree
the
with that.
club, and
Yeah.
it's more the fact that how easy it's been given to Nketiah. That's my kind of opinion on it. I'm not
Yeah.
really hating on Nketiah because if it's a dream thing for him, then so be it. But it's the process of it, how it gets to him that
Yeah.
easily. Where do you sit with this? Because I see you tweet about certain things and whatnot and rare and but in your opinion, did he deserve that number 14 shirt?
Listen, first of all, like you said, I agree with you. I haven't got any blame on Nketiah. Like, you're a
Facts,
young
facts.
brother coming up. You got 100 bags. You got 40 in. Good luck to you. And I hope he proves me wrong. But
Absolutely.
from the club's point of view, we talk about heritage and, that the heritage and all that. We
Yeah.
know that Man United number 7, we know. And obviously you've given it to players who haven't done it justice in the last few years. But
Yeah.
obviously Ronaldo's got it back. Everyone knows at Arsenal that number 14 is legendary. Now, the argument that people have tried to throw at me is, but Vieira wore 4, Tony Adams wore 6, Bergkamp wore 10. But for me, Thierry is the best we've ever had. For me, he's the best player that's ever played for Arsenal. So he's the pinnacle. 14 at Arsenal is the pinnacle. Now, obviously, Walcott had it, and I wasn't happy with Walcott, but at least Walcott scored 108 goals for Arsenal playing out wide, and I didn't even really rate Walcott. I think
Yeah.
Aubameyang did the shirt justice for
Aubameyang
2.5.
Yeah, he does what I'm saying.
Yeah,
And Walcott, when you look at the goals he got and the amount of games he got, it's
yeah,
not bad. But I get
it's
what you
not
mean.
bad.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But Eddie hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
We tried to sell Eddie in January to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace tried to buy him in the summer, couldn't get rid of him, couldn't agree a price. We tried to sell him in January. Palace said, we'll wait because he's out of contract in 6 months, so we'll get him on a free.
Yeah.
No Arsenal fan particularly rated him. It kind of fell into his lap because Lacazette was so bad that just the fact that Eddie could run and press and he shot because Lacazette wasn't even shooting, it was like, oh, Eddie's this breath of fresh air. And he finished the season well. Let me give him some credit. But let's be real. The 2 biggest games of the season, Tottenham and Newcastle, he didn't turn up. None of the team turned up, but he didn't turn up. And all of a sudden, after 7 decent performances, you're getting 100 grand and you're getting the 14 shirt. Like, I'm sorry, for me, if we were high flying and we was at the top, I'd probably accept it because I'd say
it fall under the carpet. Yeah,
it just,
you
you
kind
know
of put it
what,
under
we're
the
doing
carpet.
so well, I'll just let that one slide. But when everything that you associate with your football club is disappearing, and then the last thing you kind of cling on to, Thierry Henry, you're just dashing that shirt to anyone. Oh, Eddie, new contract. Oh, you want 14? Yeah, just take it. It's like, come on, what do we
Yeah,
really stand for as a
that's the
football
thing.
club? Do you know what I mean?
That's a proper word they use. I think, what do you stand for as a football club? And that's it. It's the same with contracts. You know what I mean? Same thing that you would argue. Does Nketiah deserve 100 grand a week contract? I'm not saying that himself. I'm not hating on him, but it's that feeling of, for 100 grand a week, you need to expect 25 goals a season at least. At least give us something of notice. But I feel like, for me, then are we giving players that opportunity to say, you know what, I'm going to rest up now. I don't really need to go. I don't really need to leave anymore. This is the pinnacle. I'm a homeboy. Is he
Yeah.
Hayland? Is he? Or
Hey,
was
Len.
he Hayland? Like, it's the pinnacle of his career. Nobody else is going to come in for Nketiah of a notable club unless
No.
he does something drastic. He's actually like, is there a feeling now that he's got a number 14 and he's on 100 grand a week? Right, I could just chill, Curtis. I don't need to work. That's the consensus from above.
And that's the problem. And like obviously United and Arsenal, when we were the young players who came through, they had to run through brick walls to make it. Fabregas at Arsenal and young players that you brought through back in the day. Now, Eddie, all right, you've had 7 good games, like you said, 5 years, 100 grand, 14. If he has 2 bad seasons, he ain't going nowhere, because no one's buying him on 100 grand. You ain't gonna make no money on him, and you're just gonna see it out. So I just feel like with young players, you've got to give them that hunger to keep going. You can't just give them everything straight away and just say, "I'll take everything," and just see what happens. And that for me is the problem. I think Arsenal now, they're making it too easy to be an Arsenal player. I feel like you should have to be at a certain level to be at this club. I feel now, if you got a decent attitude, and Emmanuel Petit put a comment out. He said, if you're quiet at Arsenal and you train well, you'll be at this club for 10 years, because they're just like, oh, he's a nice guy, he trains well, give him a new deal. Rob Holding, or Mohamed El Neni, all these players that Arsenal fans have wanted out for years. But they have 4 good games, and next minute they're signing new deals. And I think that's the problem, that's the problem.
That is, what it is, man. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying Smith Rowe, but he's got the number 10 after Bergkamp. It's one of them. He loses his kind of the kind of, I don't know, the sentiment. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but he loses it. And I feel like sometimes you've got to earn it. But I think in this modern game, this is what it's going to be. And we just have to shut up. As fans, we have to shut up, apparently.
I'm telling you, I made so much noise about it. I sat there after the video. I thought, you know what? Maybe I'm seeing things wrong. Maybe the modern game is just a number, don't mean anything. It's just a lot of people like, it's just a number. I'm like, all right, maybe it is just a number, but I don't know. Maybe I'm a legacy fan, man. You know what I mean?
Maybe you're a Nostalgia FC. Big up to Hot Skull. Maybe you are, man. You know what I mean? Maybe we have to lose that kind of feeling. But then again, if you chat to people like Lee Gunner and them, man, they're gonna like, no, this is the Arsenal. This is the Arsenal. So it's one of them, man. That's why, for me, I've never ever cussed anyone who's Arteta out, and I've never really cussed anyone who's Arteta. I always say have the balance for both sides, innit? And see where both sides are coming from, because people put a standard to Arsenal, like Curtis, that we're winning stuff. But then also you've got the new generation of, maybe they're looking for that pretty kind of player, that, that stand kind of player that they can adore. And you know what I mean? So it's difficult, man. It really, really is difficult. My chronic shirt earns you 100 grand a week at this football club nowadays. Saka number 7, ER7 numbers 10, and Eddie number 14. It's a mess. When you actually look at it like that, it's you know what? It's just kind of a situation of, you know what, man? Now, what do you do now? Do you say to them, can you criticize them because they're young and they're from Hale End and they shouldn't be wearing that number shirt? Could you say that another player should be playing that and they're not fit to wear the shirt and they don't deserve to play for Arsenal? You're stuck in a bit of a cycle here, and it's like, it's you know what, man? It's just so kind of like, what do you do as a fan? If I don't like Rashford and I don't think he's good enough for Man United Football Club, but at the same time, people say to me, well, he's man born and bred. Well, he knows how to play for the badge. He's local. He's a homeboy. He's youth. What can you do as a fan when you pay your hard-earned money to watch Arsenal? You want to see the best in class, surely, as a fan. But then you're told to shut up because we've got a youth project and we're trying to do things differently. So What? Where are we? Where are we in modern football? This is the problem, people. Where are we? How do we judge football? You know what I mean? And now you've got stats involved, and now you've got, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what I see for Odegaard. What was it? Is it pre-assist? Is it?
Oh,
What?
don't.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, man. What is it? What is it?
Something like, yeah. I was. Listen, the game's changed, man. The game has
The
changed.
game
I'm
has
telling you.
changed, man. That's why a lot of people, when they say Ryan Giggs, he didn't really get any goals and assists. Well, if Ryan Giggs was this in era, he would get pre-assist and he would start the game. Bro, come on, man. It's absolutely crazy, man. But the game is changing, Curtis, and we have to stick by it. This is what it's going to be. That's all it is, isn't it?
So, but the one thing I think you should never accept, and this is what I stand by, you don't have to accept lower standards, bro. Because
never.
You know how much it costs you for your tickets and your travel and you know what I mean? And you know how big that football club is. I know how big Arsenal, most expensive season tickets in the whole of Europe, more than PSG, Madrid, Barca, everyone. So, at the end of the day, you're a customer. You're paying that much money. I expect to see a decent product on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? At the moment, I'm not seeing that. So I think this is where it gets. Do you know what? Someone's just messaged me something, right? Yeah, I don't know if you noticed. Yesterday, Arsenal were doing this thing where every tweet, like, so it started with an F, then an A, then a B. Oh, there you go. I'll take over the show. His internet's gone. I'll run the show for a minute. But Arsenal, apparently, their last few tweets
My bad, bro.
are spelling. There you go. Don't worry. I'll run the show for a minute while your internet mashes up. People saying the last few Arsenal tweets are spelling out Gabriel or something.
I see that.
I don't know whether it's true or not. Someone just sent me a picture of it.
Oh, because they've been doing that kind of like, I heard some people saying it on Twitter, saying that, they're doing G and then A and then whatnot. Which again, it's to suit the new narrative of the fan base, isn't it? It's to suit the new kind of fan base and keep them guessing in it. You know what I mean? Keeps them entertained. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But listen, people, we're gonna wrap it up here. Curtis, man, I appreciate you giving your time and effort to come on the channel, man. It's been a good collab, man. Big up to you, bro.
Big up, man. I appreciate it, man. I always see your channel, man. You're doing good work, and you know what I mean? Your vlogs and that are legendary, man. And
come on, man. I appreciate it.
You stick by your message as well. That's the key thing. Do you know what I mean?
That's it, bro. We got to, man. 100%, man. Big up to you. Big up to Lawrence with a super chat. He goes, big up Saeed and Big C. Love the collab. Yeah, man. 100%, man. We always try and collab when we got time or whatnot. You know what else, man. Everybody's got to do content. So I appreciate you coming on. Curtis, man, let them people know where they can find you. Obviously, I put the link in the title already for you, but let them know where they can find you, man.
Yeah, man, Curtis Shaw TV. I'm on most days anyway. Hopefully get you on there in the next week or two as well.
Love, man. Anytime.
Man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Defo, man. People, like the video on your way out, people. It helps massively with the algorithms and whatnot. So please, guys, smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. And yeah, man, I'll be back tomorrow for another live stream, people. We're out. Take care. Peace.